As a result of a rise in social and geographic mobility, improvements in transportation technology, the way we speak has become more complex. Traditionally, isolation has contributed to the development of accents, but today accents are influenced by a lack of isolation, a closely connected world. A rise in immigration and growth of the use of social media has impacted the wordage used by young and old people alike. Distance is no longer a factor. We can Skype and FaceTime across the world at a moment's notice. Phone calls, emails, tweets, posts, letters, emojis, FaceTime. This is how we speak.
I'm Susie Maitland, and I am a senior lecturer in geology here at the University of Brighton. And I grew up actually not very far away in Tunbridge Wells, so probably 20 miles away from here, but have subsequently lived in London for about 10 years. I lived in Cambridge for about 4 years, and I also lived in Vietnam, Southeast Asia. So I think I pretty much speak broadly Queen's English. My mum, interestingly, grew up in Leicestershire, and then moved to Kent when she was about 8. Yeah. And she actually, at school, they made her say everything again and again until sort of her northern accent had been beaten out of her and she got a southern accent. So she sort of historically there has been a kind of emphasis on people speaking a certain way, and that the southeast accent was considered to be better. Now I think regional accents are much more accepted. You hear them on TV, and you would never go to school and be told that you couldn't speak in a certain way. So I mean, it'd just be completely unacceptable. But having said that, there are certain accents that I just think make people sound a bit slow. Talking about my mum, when she used to speak to my great aunt on the phone, who lived in Nottingham, she would slip back into her northern accent. And I think that there's a thing that we do if we're trying to, and I know I do it subconsciously, definitely, if I'm talking particularly to somebody I respect a lot, or I want them to like me or whatever, I sort of replicate their speech a little bit, and I think that's the thing that we probably all do subconsciously.
I'm Barbarina Wild, and I'm a GCSE lecturer here at Sussex Downs College. I think I'm very, very stuck with my own sense of identity, and I think that's a personality trait of some people. My sister moved to Australia, and within 3 weeks she had an Australian accent. My second sister lived 23 years in New York, but she sounds identical. If you heard her today, she sounds identical to me. She has a very strong sense of identity, and she kept her English accent when she was living in America. In the olden days, you'd have posh people and common people. Now we've got all sorts of different accents, and the class system's not so easily defined, but it's still very much there. And the foreign language students that I've taught, some of them just can't jump onto a new accent or act or pretend that they're English, and if we love where we come from, we want to stay where we are. It's actually in your genes or in your DNA as well. I think there's nature and nurture going on, and certainly the sound of the timbre of your voice comes through actually in your DNA.
My name is Muhammad. I'm from Palestine. In Palestine, we study English from school, from like primary school, but it's not like perfect thing, to be honest. So you have to depend on yourself to like watch movies or any other, shows, or just communicate with people, which it's much easier nowadays. The problem for me when I communicate with someone who's native here, it's not problem with the language itself, it's the problem with the topic that we talk about. I think there are many different ways to express what you want to talk about. You don't need to know the exact word, so you can explain it in various ways.
My name's Terence, and I was born in Brighton, and when I was 7 I went back to Hong Kong. My family brought me back to Hong Kong to learn some Chinese and everything, and then due to study reason I came back to Brighton when I was 17. To describe my accent is a bit of a mixture of American English and maybe I call it like Hong Kong English, all mixed up together. Sometimes I just go follow the flow and see how I speak it. That's all. Yeah. People from different countries come to England. They tend to pick up their own slangs from their language, and it actually got mixed into English as well.